Music and politics have always gone hand in hand. From my next guest, who's been writing and performing songs with a message for the last 20 years or so. First with the band Dispatch, then State Radio, and now is Chadwick Stokes in the Pintos, weighing in on everything from guns to refugees to women's struggle for equality. And in 2008, Chadwick and his wife and tour manager, Sybil Gallagher, turned the music into a movement, starting an organization named after the State Radio song Calling All Crows. Their latest project is #HereForTheMusic, kind of music industry offshoot of the Me Too movement, a message that works in concert with a new song just out from Dispatch, Year of the Woman. Here's a little bit of that.
But it's the year of the woman. It's about time for the world to see. Men have been pushing their IV oppression, hiding away on that tree-lined street. Stay on fire now, lady. Those are the powers that used to be. Cause there's a sea change coming like a high court summon from sea to mother shining sea.
Ahead of the annual benefit concert for Calling All Crows, Chadwick Stokes and Sybil Gallagher join me now. Great to meet you both. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks.
By the way, just on the CD, it could be Music in the Time of Trump, could be the title. But did I read somewhere you wrote all this stuff before Trump was even elected?
That was, speaking of an album that's a couple years old. The newer stuff is. There was a while there where when Trump was elected, where I couldn't write anything. There was overload. Couldn't process it. My brain couldn't process it. And now I can't seem to stop. And Sybil will be like, you need to write a song that's not about Trump.
You need to even talk about something that's not about Trump. It's pretty hard living, So you two started this campaign to improve the lives of women in a whole host of ways. What was the thing that caused that to happen? Was there a tipping point? Was there a moment? What happened?
Well, 11 or 12 years ago, we started this organization as a way to sort of harness the energy that we saw in the music industry when we were out on the road. And speaking to people and being involved with social issues and a number of different organizations, we found focusing on women was just the most important area that we could hone in on. And working in an industry where there's so much room for improvement for women, it just felt like the right sort of cause for us.
What does it mean, improvement for women? Like how? In what? You mean in the audience, on the stage, behind the stage? What
everywhere.
Do you mean? Everywhere.
So the power dynamics that exist in the music industry for women and fan safety at shows, festivals, music venues, it's just... it's a very difficult industry for women to exist in. Can
we talk about the fan safety thing? I saw you somewhere talking about the percentage of women in audiences at concerts and how much sexual misconduct and violence they are victims of. What was the number? You were like colossally high.
Yeah, it was like in the high 80s.
80%.
Yeah. Women in an audience, 80% have experienced some bad sexual behavior directed at them?
Yeah.
And what is that? What's that attributable to? Is that because of those of you who are on the stage who set a mood? I don't mean you, but I mean others like you, or is it the guys who go to these concerts? I mean, that's a stunning number.
I mean, there's something inherent in the music industry that has been kind of like, because it's been such a male-dominated industry, and it's like boys will be boys, and I think that carries over into the crowd a little bit, and music is often a party, so and it's kind of like anything goes, rock and roll, sex, drugs, and rock and roll, so it's been somewhat permissible, and it's...
And glorified.
And
yeah.
So what are you guys doing about it? I mean, I've read about all the stuff, but what is it? What's the operational phase of what you're doing?
Our goal is to train people on how to be safer at shows and in the workplace. So how can you be an active bystander when you see behaviors occurring? And we've trained over 75 bands, festivals, thousands of music fans on how do you handle these situations instead of just turning a blind eye.
How do you
handle it? We've been programmed to do.
Getting involved?
Yeah, there's so many tactics, but what we are training people on is how do you distract situations? How do you get the victim out of the situation so they can get to safety? So how do you distract or delay a situation or this is the 4 Ds, which I'm blanking on
4
now.
Ds.
But
you can be confrontational, or you can be, you can kind of come up after the fact, or you can be like, hey, will you take a selfie of me? You just
take a picture.
Yeah.
But how about you? It seems to me just having a mindset to do something. The quote that I've used about 1,000 times since the Weinstein thing broke was the Quentin Tarantino quote. I knew enough to have done more. I mean, and that's the mindset, it seems to me. But, you know, when I think about what you're doing and reading about what you're doing, I say to myself, the people who are least likely to be doing bad things are the people who are most likely to sign up for training and stuff. So isn't it like a self-selecting?
Yes, but it's a culture.
Yeah.
We found that there is a very thick culture in the music industry that we were even contributing to, you know, and we have learned so much through this training and having discussions with people about what our own contribution is to this problem, and just being more aware of the power dynamic between artists and fans.
How are you contributing to it?
Just being aware of that power dynamic and how we can have a more equal tone throughout, you know, a live music experience.
When you hear people say "shut up and sing," they may not be saying it to you,
Yeah,
but
do.
they say it to a lot. Oh, they say it to you too?
Yeah.
What do you say to them? Do you need to be trained to answer that one, or do you have an answer? What do you say?
Yeah, well, I say, like, you can hit the road if you want to, but some of that fuels the anger in me to go further, you know, and I think being in a band that well of angst is actually helpful. It's helpful for me to when I'm performing, at least, because I don't love performing, but it is a place to kind of exercise some demons.
You don't love performing?
I really like writing,
You do?
but performing is, and I love recording, but I say on the, you know, the 1, 2, 3 of that is, I would say performing's at 3.
Well, in light of the fact you don't like performing, what are you going to be doing on the 21st at the House of Blues for Calling
I don't
Crows?
mind it. I don't mind it. I love playing with my bands, and I love that.
So what are people
teamwork.
getting on the 21st? What's going to happen?
We're playing, we're at the House of Blues, and it's our annual benefit weekend. It's number 11 or 12.
That's great.
And the Pintos and I we are just coming fresh off a tour. I left the guys in Nashville this morning, and they're playing great, and they're such lovely guys and amazing players. And
it's just a way for us to celebrate the year of work that Calling All Crows and the fans who have been engaged have done. And it's just
we give an award in honor of Sybil's mom, who passed away a few years ago. And
Sounds great. Sybil, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, you
Good
too.
luck with your
Thanks,
work.
Jim, so
Same with
much.
you,
Thanks,
Chadwick.
Jim.
Stick around, though. You can catch Chadwick Stokes and the Pintos, as they said, at the annual benefit concert for Calling All Crows, House of Blues, December 21st at 8 p.m. For more information, head to callingallcrows.org.